What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a very interesting rumor from the Rolling Library. And well, let's just jump right into it. Let's read the tweet out. Months ago, I received a tip from a very reliable source telling me that WB was working on a horror video game based on the Wizarding World. I reached out to WB, and their response was, "We do not have any comment." Since I couldn't obtain another independent source, one of the rules of independent journalism, I decided not to report it, but personally, I believe it's very likely. So, quite a few things to say about it. Number one, well, they did just report on it right now. Number two, this is no, small run-of-the-mill account, right? Very big account. They do have, I assume, their sources, and I feel like they would be believable. Now, I'm not just going to full-on believe this. This was actually a response to Retro Raconteur talking about job postings for, Avalanche, and we've gone through job postings in the past as well. Very much seems like there is a Hogwarts Legacy 2 now, whether it's very multiplayer focused or whatever they end up doing with it. That's kind of to the side. I do think it's a Hogwarts Legacy 2. So I think you take this rumor and you kind of almost separate it and you say, all right, is this part of that kind of larger picture thing that we've talked about? I've talked about this actually for years. The Wizarding World is untapped potential. I think they finally freaking realized it with Hogwarts Legacy, and I think Quidditch Champions is kind of another sign. And Quidditch Champions is a big deal, in my opinion, because it shows that they were already thinking this a few years ago, much like I was, right? They looked at it and they said, okay, Hogwarts isn't out yet, but we really think we can do something here, so let's not just do one game and then see how it does and then start everything. Let's maybe have one or two, in the pipeline, so when Hogwarts comes out, you don't have to wait 3, 4, 5 years for another game in the Wizarding World. That would not be very forward-thinking, I honestly believe. So that's honestly how they seem to be doing it with Quidditch Champions. Kind of proves, okay, they know that you should probably have a different kind of Wizarding World game maybe every year or 2 years, because you think you have Quidditch Champions probably in 2024. Now, do you have something else in 2025 or 6? And then you have Hogwarts Legacy maybe the year after that, right? And start to kind of build a nice little streak there. Now, this one, look, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It is weird. And that's what I tweeted. This is a very, it's a weird rumor. A horror game? Now, you could say, well, Alex, they did the Haunted Hogsmeade mission, the PlayStation exclusive one, which I believe comes to Xbox after that year mark, so this upcoming February. It's a good mission. It's actually a really good mission. Is it scary? I mean, I guess it's scary compared to the rest of the game. It's not horrifying. You're not talking about Amnesia or PT or Outlast or something. Now, does it need to be that? No, but this tweet here, right? It's a horror video game. They literally make a horror game based off the Wizarding World. That would kind of be wild. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it makes it, to me, maybe a little less believable, just because I don't really know how that works. But let me tell you, I'd love to see it. Go ahead and do it. I would not turn down a game literally at all that is a horror title in the vein of Amnesia or any of these kind of things. Give me that kind of game in the Wizarding World. Sure, why not? Would it work? I don't really know, but it's never really been done before, right? So, again, regardless of it all, I think it's just another sign that, yeah, there should be other games. And, when we've had these talks of an MMO, even the job postings with Avalanche, and some of them are kind of weird, and, we don't really know the path Hogwarts Legacy 2 is taking. Do it. Now, in my opinion, you should do a Hogwarts Legacy 2 just like you did 1. You add to it, you improve to it. If you want to do multiplayer, I think you do Quidditch or maybe dueling, right? Battles. You keep it almost minimal, right? If you want to do an MMO, you do that separately. And I think that's part of my internal, what I would pitch to them as a plan. Do Hogwarts Legacy 2, just like you did 1, because that was obviously very successful and it worked. Do a Quidditch, yeah, sure, go ahead, do it, right? Do Quidditch Champions, online only, live service. Now, obviously, I'm not a really big fan of live service titles, but it does work. I really think it will work ultimately. Do it. Quidditch is very popular. You make it online. Everybody gets to play together. It's an EA Sports game just with, Quidditch. I think that honestly would work really well. So you have that. If you want your MMO, Yeah, there's not that many MMOs out like at any given time, and there's even less successful ones, right? So you are taking a big risk there, but try it. The Wizarding World is perfect. It's one of the only things that I think is really, really well or easily, say, adapted into an MMO. So go for it, right? If you want to make a horror game, if you want to make a management game in the Wizarding World, like try these different genres. I think we even maybe mentioned like a Telltale style thing, like do episodic, do it more cartoony looking, like just go ahead, and do like a choose your own. Now, well, Hogwarts Legacy, you do get to pick certain things, but make it even more in depth, right? Where every conversation you're choosing what to say, literally, a Telltale or Don't Nod like style. Like, just throw these things against a wall and you see what sticks. And quite honestly, I think most of them would stick because I think the power of the IP is enough to kind of carry it, even if the game is not that great, right? So I think any of them would honestly work, but this one's definitely interesting. It's also the weirdest. It's also the one that I can't really like see happening. And like, of course they're going to respond that way, right? Like if you reach out to them, normally they say like, we don't comment on like rumors or speculation. That's normally the golden kind of game developer publisher line. So that's not shocking at all, but it would be cool. It would definitely be cool. I don't know why a job posting for Avalanche is what spins this tweet, because like I'll tell you this, I would be shocked if Avalanche, their next game was a horror game based off the Wizarding World. There's no way, right? So like, why does the job posting for Avalanche spin? Oh, well, there's actually a separate game going on that's actually a horror thing. I don't know how those two things relate, but that's seemingly how we got this. So we'll just have to, keep our eyes on it. I am sure Quidditch Champions is not the only Wizarding World game being, like right now, Hogwarts Legacy 2 and Quidditch, I guarantee you it's not just those two. There's easily a third, maybe even a fourth or a fifth. I would bet quite a bit on that. We just have to see, how long it takes for them to announce these things. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.